So let me know if you're here in the chat, if you can hear and see me, okay? And then we'll go ahead and get started. There we are. Hello, Andrea. Hello Daniel. Hello Vidfilm. Hello Seth. Hello John. Hello. Hello Symbio. How's everybody doing? It's been a while. How's it going, guys? How's it going? I have to excuse my glasses, they keep fogging up, and so does the camera. I may just give it a little wipe. I got this from I came home from Canada today and I had some parcels waiting for me, and I had a parcel that was from Mother New Year, and it's just something stupid. It's cute, something that my stepdad does every year. And he bought me this camera magazine book, and it came with this little brush. Yeah, so I'll give it a go and see if it helps. Well, it's not actually that foggy, so anyway, it's a nice little ASMR brush. Doing good, thank you. I'm a little bit tired. I flew back from Canada last night and my flight was delayed by like 3 hours. But I managed to sleep about 4 hours, I think. So yeah. But hello everybody. Hello. Reading another Buddhist teachings. Certainly I'll be touching on some, but for what I have planned for tonight is Bhagavad Gita. I have these 3 books actually that are of course tied in with Hinduism. The Dhammapada and the Upanishads, and there's a whole lot of wisdom in these books. But for tonight we'll read Bhagavad Gita because I started reading it a while back and I haven't read it since then, so I really wanted to have a look at some of its wisdom with you tonight. But I'm a little bit jet lagged, so it probably won't be a majorly long stream, but I just wanted to touch base with you all, see how you're doing, see how it's going. I don't know if I'm going to get copyrighted for this music in the background. I might leave it on for now. It's really nice. It's 417 hertz, wipes out all the negative energy. It's really nice. I love the sound of it. Where's my water? Oh, hello, Matthew. Return from the wilderness. Yeah, my brother's so funny. He's like, do they have TVs in Canada? No, he didn't say that. I'll be nice to him. He didn't say that to me. He was like, so did you watch much TV when you was in Canada? I was like, no, not really. And he's like, oh yeah, I suppose they don't really have it in the wilderness. I was like, I love him so much. I really do. It's just, he's too funny. Like, yeah, but I suppose you go on walks a lot. You know? I was like, yeah, it's a bit cold though. So, you know, you gotta stay in and watch TV. I love him so much. Yeah, I'm glad too, Symbio. I'm glad too. Having a delayed flight is nothing compared to what could happen, right? So we gotta count our blessings. Hello, Fiorella. Hello. Super chill, super ASMR. cool. I will be streaming on Twitch tomorrow, however, so if you want to catch me there, what I'm going to do, let's pull a God or Goddess card. I haven't done that for today, so let's get a blessing. A blessing. These cards are awesome. If you watch me on Twitch, you'll have seen them already, but if you watch me on YouTube, I don't think I've ever shown them before. But they have all of the deities or gods and goddesses from Hinduism. So let's pull a card for today, and then we'll do some reading. Discuss the Bhagavad Gita, one of the greatest spiritual texts in the world. Not the only greatest, but one of them. You would love a card for the day, of course, my dear, of course. Thank you. What would you like? A God or Goddess card? A tarot card? Or something else? I'll see what I've got. Hello, Yaron. I'm doing well, thank you. How are you? Is it a Q&A? Not as such. Hello to you in Italy. Hello. Two or three. I read all your comments. I read all of them. I see you. I see you. God and Goddess card. Okay, well, since I'm already shuffling these, we can make your God and Goddess card the blessing for this stream. Sound good? Sound good. I love just shuffling these cards. They have a really soft, I don't really know what the material is. It's just a soft card basically, and they're really smooth to shuffle. Okay, it's this one. What is it? Oh, Goddess of Material Energy. I don't think we've had that one before. Should look at that. How cool. Let me see. She's on a white lion. It looks like a white lion anyways. My family always used to call me Kimberly the White Lion. I always liked that name. Durga Devi. I bow down again and again to the goddess who is manifest in all creatures as strength and power. Personal, so the blessings are view symbol. Personal empowerment. Destruction of ignorance, development of spiritual forces, and suppression of negative psychic influences. It's cool. I'm gonna put it up here just so you can see it. There we go. Exponent of Gaia Habitio. Bonjour, Thomas. else do I do? Nothing. I go for a run occasionally when it's not snowing outside. That's about it. So anyways, I tend to do reading of different books actually. For instance, I've been reading Anastasia on my Kindle recently. I like to try and stick to the same book every night that I'll go to bed, but I also like to read little passages from different books. And I feel like the Bhagavad Gita is one that you go back to a lot. You don't necessarily, it's good to read it all in one go, but it's kind of like the Bible. You kind of just read passages and then go back to it every now and again. So let me find something we can read. I actually feel kind of warm today compared to the cold of Canada. England's pretty good, except that it's been hailstoning all day. The sun came out for a total of 5 minutes today, and then it subsided to make way for lots of hailstone. But it's good to be back in England, to see my family and hopefully see some friends. A lot of my friends live down south, however, which is actually quite far away for me to travel. So apparently I got up to page 120. That's quite a lot. I'm going to turn off the music just because I'm so afraid that they're going to copyright this video. It is really good music though. It's by Meditative Mind, if you were wondering what that was from. So, exactly what you need to hear. You're welcome, darling. Mexico. We'd love another French video. I'll be honest with you, I probably won't be doing another French video. A, because I stopped learning French. Like I didn't have the willpower. And second of all, my French is really kind of bad. So, Hellfire, thank you for the follow. I'm going to turn off those alerts though. Pretty loud, eh? Was that a follow on? That would have been on Twitch, surely. Because if it's a follow, it's got to be Twitch. Oh, wait a minute. Why is it doing that? Maybe if I can unlink this Twitch. Merge. I don't want to merge. Okay, maybe what I'll do is turn up. No, it's gonna have to stay. I'm sorry, I'm not sure why that came through so loud. It isn't telling me. Voodoo. Mod is like a bouncer. Yes, I could do with some more mods. So if any of yous, prove yourself worthy. But I could do with some more on YouTube. Yes. Say mail on my circle in from work. That's so cool that you cycle to work though, Matthew. Yeah. going on about your website you've been thinking about? Oh, I haven't done anything on my website recently. I need to get my act together. Yeah. Northern England. Yeah, it's from Lancashire, Daniel. Not very often. I don't watch anime, really. I have a few favourite anime shows though, or films. Children with Lost Voices is one, and Your Name is another, and there's quite a few that I like, but I don't watch often. Yeah, no, I don't like football very much, so you'd have to ask my stepdad, he loves it. Hello, Limitos. Yes, it's good to be back. It's good to be back. Hello, Maddie. Online, actually. Online. It's the new, I think YouTube is the new dating platform, or... Seems like it. What do I do for fun? Paint. Go exercise in nature and meditate in nature. And read. Of course. So let's get to it. So happy so many of you showed up tonight, by the way. So let's start. It'll be a little bit disjointed because it's in the middle of a chapter, but hopefully it'll ring true for some of you, for all of you. Let's put that up here. You know what I will do, Symbio? Before I do anything, I'm gonna write you a green heart, because I miss writing my hearts on the board. So. I'm gonna put it there where you can't see it, apparently. I missed my little room. It is kind of cozy in here. Not quite as cozy as Canada though. Canada's awesome. I love it. So, some offer wealth, others offer sense restraint and suffering. Some take vows and offer knowledge and study of the scriptures, and some make the offering of meditation. Some offer the forces of vitality, regulating their inhalation and exhalation, and thus gain control over these forces. Others offer the forces of vitality through restraint of their senses. All these understand the meaning of service and will be cleansed of their impurities. True sustenance is in service, and through it a man or woman reaches the eternal Brahman. But those who do not seek to serve are without a home in this world. Arjuna, how can they be at home in any world to come? These offerings are born of work, and each guides mankind along a path to Brahman. Understanding this, you will attain liberation. The offering of wisdom is better than any material offering. Arjuna, for the goal of all work is spiritual wisdom. A Approach those who have realized the purpose of life and question them with reverence and devotion. They will instruct you in this wisdom. Once you attain it, you will never again be deluded. You will see all creatures in the self and all in me. You know, I want to ask a question because I feel that with so many of you here, it's a conversation I would like to have in person, but so many, I don't really get the opportunity to ask this sort of question when I'm amongst so many people, but I wanna know what it's like for you in your own spiritual journey, in your own spiritual path right now, because things are more evident than ever that this world is going through a change, and that 2018 I think will be a pretty big year, and so many of us are transitioning into our better selves because the world needs that. The world needs more of us who are coming in alignment with who they really are, their loving and truthful and respectful nature. I think we've lived a long time already in disrespect of the earth, and now what's happening is there's this huge shift in consciousness going on, and for me it's just fascinating to watch that be played out in so many areas. Like, okay, even the I don't want to talk about veganism specifically because I don't think it's not necessarily the focal point that I wish to touch on, but what I do wish to touch on is that, I don't know about you, but in every store that I go to, in every shop, or not necessarily every shop, but in every like mall or airport or complex that I go to, it seems that so many places are offering natural alternatives to basically healthier food alternatives. Like, I'll just see it everywhere I go. You know, there's like it's vegan food everywhere. There's natural products everywhere that aren't including chemicals, and it's as though the message that some of the things that we've been consuming as a society, we're asking for something different, where we don't want to consume these foods that are full of crap anymore, and we don't want to consume these products that are so full of chemicals and that are destroying our bodies and well-being. And I've noticed that so much in the last year. Just how much. I wonder if this works on my glasses. So weird. Kind of works though. Yeah. So I just wondered how many of you noticed that shift that's occurring. Some of us are waking up faster than others, and only seeing the changes moment by moment, but some people are way ahead and sort of already preparing for the apocalypse, you know, which I'm not too sure about, honestly. I'm not too sure whether that's a thing. But anyway, it's interesting to see it. Hi, hello to you in Russia. That's so cool. But I respect every religion. I don't follow a religion. I've spoken to you about my move to Hawaii and love for spiritual practice. I've chosen to take the next step and sell everything. I do remember you, yes. That is awesome. You started a really good path there, I think. A scary path nonetheless, but still, kudos to you, Maddie. That's awesome. Hawaii is one place I'd love to go. Oh, for sure they overlap, Daniel, yes. I wonder if there's a way I can turn that off. YouTube alerts. Maybe I'll just do that. Really shouldn't be that though. YouTube events. Yeah, that'll be enough. Yeah, I've read the Bhagavad Gita. I think it's something you can read over and over again. But that's cool that you have. And the rate of change has indeed sped up due to the ease of information. We're special in times, but all times are equally special. For sure. That's just a natural human tendency. Don't want to believe that we're the special ones. But in all honesty, this time it does feel pretty epic, so. Hello, Minx Laura. Hi. I haven't seen you around for a while. Hope you're doing well. How do you explain the existence of the world? It's rather a large question. I don't know, how would you explain it? I think the fact that we're trying to find meaning all points towards the fact that we ourselves make up why we exist in this world. It's all about what we choose to believe individually as humans. But also collectively, that's where religion comes in. Hello, Ben. I've been very busy last month or two, which is why I've been absent. Because of changed jobs, instigated lifestyle, met someone new. Oh, fantastic. I love that, Matthew. I hope your job is going well for you, my dear. Interested in astrology, for sure. Very much so. So it says, even if you were the most sinful of sinners, Arjuna, you could cross beyond all sin by the raft of spiritual wisdom. As the heat of a fire reduces wood to ashes, the fire of knowledge burns to ashes all karma. Nothing in this world purifies like spiritual wisdom. It is the perfection achieved in time through the path of yoga, the path which leads to the self within. Those who take wisdom as their highest goal, whose faith is deep and whose senses are trained, attain wisdom quickly and enter into perfect peace. But the ignorant, indecisive and lacking in faith waste their lives. They can never be happy in this world or any other. Those established in the self have renounced selfish attachments to their actions and cut through doubts with spiritual wisdom. They act in freedom. Arjuna, cut through this doubt in your heart with the sword of spiritual wisdom. Arise, take up the path of yoga. Oh, I love that. Those established in the self have renounced selfish attachments to their actions and cut through doubts with spiritual wisdom. They act in freedom. Arjuna, cut through this doubt in your own heart with the sword of spiritual wisdom. Arise, take up the path of yoga. And that's the end of chapter 4. Next one is called Renounce and Rejoice. Hello, team fans. yeah, I'd love to check it out. I always appreciate recommendations of books, so thank you. That is my spirituality. Hey, I'm right there with you, Daniel. I mean, that's, in my opinion, all it needs to be. It's being interested in seeking wisdom in that way. In all ways. Once you're open-minded to one thing, you'll realise that it makes no sense to not be open-minded to something else. You have to be open-minded to everything if you really seek the answers, if you really wish to find the answers that you seek. Yes, there's no words for it. There's no answer, so to speak, in as many words. It's a state of being. So it's good that you recognise that. Writing a novel is a good way to get in touch with yourself. I think every writer is called to write about their own life experiences and see them in a different light, extract as much information from them as possible. So, I think it's a good idea, Andres. Hello, Cryptic. Hello. I'm fabulous, darling. How are you? Renounce and rejoice. At the beginning of this chapter, the traditional approach to the spiritual is hailstoning. I suppose it's kind of cozy, but I'm sorry if that's loud. The traditional approach to the spiritual life, that is, leaving the world, retiring from the ordinary affairs of job and family, is contrasted with working in the world with detachment. The general term for retiring from the world is sannyasa, renunciation. That sounds like something you're doing, Maddie. Traditionally, sannyasa meant renouncing all worldly ties and attachments. The person undertaking the vow of sannyasa would leave home, family, and occupation to pursue a strict, contemplative life. I have to say it's occurred to me more than once to do that. I think that's kind of where my travelling took off. I kind of wanted to let go of everything and just go out into the world and do things. But I don't think I've ever renounced the world, so to speak. Really. This was a path chosen by very few, even in ancient India. Yet, we shouldn't forget that surprising numbers of people in traditional societies, both in the East and the West, have chosen a monastic life removed from the turmoil of the world. In India, the compassionate Buddha provides the classic example of one who leaves the comforts of... here we go, it's talking about Buddha. For anyone who is interested in Buddhism, Buddha provides the classic example of one who leaves the comforts and fulfillments of family and worldly life to seek the lonely way of self-realization. I think, yes, Symbio, you mentioned before how Buddhism or Buddha speaks of the seventh chakra, and I'd never thought of it like that before. So I think it's really cool to think of it in that way, because Buddhism is all about, it's only a small sect of Hinduism, and it resonates with a lot of people in its peaceful aspect and its balancing qualities and equanimity. But really it's all about detachment, and that's not the whole spectrum. We are to have desires as human beings. We are to follow those desires and those wants, and it's a good thing that we do, and it's also a good thing that we judge, because what we judge, when done in a balanced way, keeps us on the straight and narrow of what we wish to attain and accomplish in our own lives. But with Buddhism, with it being a representative of the seventh chakra, in letting go of all attachment, is kind of like the last key to the puzzle of the seven chakras. But as we know, there's many chakras, so it's not the full picture. So what I like is that Buddhism is part of the picture, as is Hinduism, as is, for me, religions are all pieces of the puzzle. You can't take one without taking the other, you know? And that's what I meant before when I said that if you're going to be open-minded to one thing, you should be open-minded to everything. Compassionate Buddha provides the classic example of one who leaves the comforts and fulfillments of family and worldly life to seek the lonely way of self-realization. The story is well known throughout Asia. Siddhartha Gautama was a prince with every worldly satisfaction within his reach, who left his palace to find a way to lead the world beyond suffering and death. Hello guys, thank you my dear, hope you're well. It's back to good old sunny England, that's what it's all about. Go live in a monastery in Tibet. Sounds like a plan to me. Hello Superflix. He became a wandering sannyasi, a lonely, austere monk. Only after he had attained to complete enlightenment did he return to society to teach others of the peace of nirvana. Though Krishna acknowledges here that this way of sannyasa can lead to the goal, he recommends the path of selfless action or selfless service as a better way. Sounds like karma yoga. He contrasts the way of Sankhya, which in this context means knowledge of the self in a general way, to the way of yoga, which here means the way of action. This term yoga presents difficulties in the Gita because it means different things at different times, and many definitions are given of this all-purpose term. But for several chapters, the topic under discussion has been the active spiritual life, or karma yoga, and that is clearly what is meant in this context. Sankhya and yoga might also be translated as theory and practice. It would seem that at the time of the Gita, the path of wisdom was regarded very highly, while the path of action may have been looked upon as an adulteration of the spiritual life. It is even possible that the Gita was the first Hindu scripture to introduce the novel idea of combining karma yoga with the pursuit of self-knowledge. Krishna says that only immature, inexperienced people look upon the paths of knowledge and action as different. The true goal of action is knowledge of the self. Following either path faithfully will lead to the complete spiritual wisdom. It is essential in karma yoga that the selfish ego not expect gratification from the work. When there is no selfish involvement in work, the worker does not come to spiritual harm. The example is the lotus. It spends its life floating in water, yet the drops of water roll off its leaves without ever wetting them. Similarly, as long as the karma yogis do not expect reward or recognition, any evil that might stain them has nowhere to cling. Such yogis are said to be detached from the outcome or fruits of their actions, karma phala. Krishna warns Arjuna that a life of work, even successful work, cannot be fulfilling without self-knowledge. Ultimately, the true self within him is not affected by what he does, whether good or bad. Only knowledge of the self, which rises like the sun at dawn, can fulfill the purpose of his life and lead him beyond rebirth. This knowledge of the self, or Atman, by its very nature, also knowledge of Brahman, the all-pervading, immanent and transcendent Godhead. Krishna says that the illumined person sees this divine essence in all beings. He or she has the equal vision and sees the divine self in all, regardless of the outer aspect. The last 3 verses of the chapter describe a state of profound meditation called samadhi. When meditation becomes very deep, breathing becomes slow, steady, and even. And the windows of the senses close to all outward sensations. Next, the faculties of the mind quiet down, resting from their usual frantic activity. Even the primal emotions of desire, fear, and anger subside. When all these sensory and emotional tides have ceased to flow, then the spirit is free, mukta, at least for the time being. It has entered the state called samadhi. Samadhi can come and go. Generally, it can be entered only in a long period of meditation and after many years of ardent endeavour. But one verse adds the significant word sada, always. Once the state of deep concentration becomes established, the person lives in spiritual freedom or moksha permanently. This is extremely rare. Mystics of the West, as well as the East, have attained brief glimpses of unity, but very few can be said to have dwelt in it permanently, as if it were their natural habitat. In the West, the most prominent figures are Meister Eckhart, Saint Teresa of Avila, and Saint John of the Cross, though there have been others. In the Hindu tradition, there is a long line of saints and mystics who have tried to communicate something of the nature of this union with the reality of God. From the unknown records of the Upanishads through the Buddha, Shankara and Mira, to Ramakrishna and Ramana Maharishi. I find the Upanishads that bit easier to take in than the Bhagavad Gita, but I don't know if that's just because of the time that I found myself reading it. I felt more coherent and just able to understand. But the Bhagavad Gita definitely has a lot of layers to it that I feel when I'm reading it. Oh, hello, chat. I didn't see you there. Cannot understand this Canadian accent. You know what's really funny, right, is I go over to my mum's place and say hello to her and everything, and I'm just stood in the kitchen chatting with my mum and my brother, and they're like, you're starting to sound Canadian. I'm like, shut up. No, I'm not. You're just pulling my leg. Like, no, really. There's some words that have got a Canadian twang. I'm like, guys, I was there for like 3 weeks max. Don't get around with me. That just doesn't happen. Not in 3 weeks. Stop it. Hello, Al. How you doing? How you doing? As above, so below. So carrying on from that chapter, let's read a little bit more. And after this chapter is the practice of meditation. So we can save that for next time. O Krishna, you have recommended both the path of selfless action and sannyasa, the path of renunciation of action. Tell me definitely which is better. Krishna, both renunciation of action and the selfless performance of action lead to the supreme goal. But the path of action is better than renunciation. The path of action is better than renunciation. Yeah, so like, a while back, I remember thinking to myself, what would it be like if I went and renounced the world in some cave and tried to, like I've seen these like gurus who do that, and I thought to myself, is that something I would want to do? And as much as I want to seek the wisdom and fulfill that space in me that needs to be cleansed and understood fully, I would rather do it through action. I don't know if the results are quite as profound, because when you read about any of the great sages or gurus, they do tend to go off for quite a long time by themselves. But I think self-realization is also a path you can take through your actions, through the things that you do every day. And for me, it makes more sense like that. Those who have attained perfect renunciation are free from any sense of duality. They are unaffected by likes and dislikes. Arjuna, and are free from the bondage of self-will. The immature think that knowledge and action are different, but the wise see them as the same. The person who is established in one path will attain the rewards of both. The goal of knowledge and the goal of service are the same. Those who fail to see this are blind. Perfect renunciation is difficult to attain without performing action, but the wise, following the path of selfless service, quickly reach Brahman. Those who follow the path of service, who have completely purified themselves and conquered their senses and free and self-will, see the self in all creatures and are untouched by any action they perform. Those who know this truth, whose consciousness is unified, think always, I am not the doer, while seeing or hearing, touching or smelling, eating, moving about or sleeping, breathing or speaking, letting go or holding on, even opening or closing the eyes. They understand that these are only the movements of the senses among sense objects. Thank you, Al. I am missing Canada, yeah. It was nice to see my forest though. I didn't go out into nature today, but I drove past it and was about to go out, and then it started hailstoning, so Thank you. It's nice to be back. Sort of. Those who surrender to Brahman all selfish attachments are like the leaf of a lotus floating clean and dry in water. I think when you take a sentence like that, and if you really apply it to your life, if you think to yourself, okay, so what are my selfish attachments? That's when the work begins to start in you. Because it's one thing reading these scriptures, and it's one thing, taking part in a good act from time to time, doing, in essence, karma yoga. But until you're able to identify your thoughts and actions that are on some type of repeat, that are keeping yourself from your own truth, then these words are lost in you. My piece of advice for this, if I'm honest, would be that when you start looking at the world and you start seeing and thinking to yourself, how can I help? How can I be of service? How can I, in some way, give love to the world and help others as selflessly as possible? But know that you will be provided for financially, emotionally, spiritually, socially, because of the very act of your kindness. Kindness and love doesn't go unmet with material. The material world is all connected. It's the purity of your heart and the intentions towards said examples. Sin cannot touch them. Renouncing their selfish attachments, those who follow the path of service work with the body, senses and mind for the sake of self-purification. Those whose consciousness is unified abandon all attachment to the results of action and attain supreme peace. But those whose desires are fragmented, who are selfishly attached to the results of their work, are bound in everything they do. Those who renounce attachment in all their deeds live content in the city of 9 gates. I cannot tell you how often I've had the number 9 come to me in the last few weeks. It's super exciting. I just see 9s everywhere I look. Okay, I looked then and I didn't see any 9s, but still, they've been everywhere for me. So City of 9 Gates sounds pretty good. They are not driven to act, nor do they involve others in action. Neither the sense of acting nor actions, nor the connection of cause and effect comes from the Lord of this world. These 3 arise from nature. How long have I been doing ASMR for? Around about 2.5 years, I'd say. Is it 3 years? No. It was under 3 years. A long time. That's nice, Henry. neither the sense of acting nor actions. So, the Lord does not partake in the good and evil deeds of any person. Judgment is clouded when wisdom is obscured by ignorance. But ignorance is destroyed by knowledge of the self within. The light of this knowledge shines like the sun, revealing the supreme Brahman, who cast off sin through this knowledge, absorbed in the Lord and established in Him as their one goal and refuge, are not reborn as separate creatures. Those who possess this wisdom have equal regard for all. They see the same self in a spiritual aspirant and an outcast, in an elephant, a cow, and a dog. Such people have mastered life. With even mind they rest in Brahman, who is perfect and is everywhere the same. They are not elated by good fortune, nor depressed by bad. They are not elated by good fortune, nor depressed by bad. With mind established in Brahman, they are free from delusion, not dependent on any external support. They realize the joy of spiritual awareness, with consciousness unified through meditation. They live in abiding joy. Pleasures conceived in the world of the senses have a beginning and an end, and give birth to misery. Arjuna, the wise do not look for happiness in them, but those who overcome the impulses of lust and anger which arise in the body are made whole and live in joy. They find their joy, their rest, and their light completely within themselves. United with the Lord, they attain nirvana in Brahman. Healed, there goes the hailstone again. Healed of their sins and conflicts, working for the good of all beings, the holy sages attain nirvana in Brahman. Free from anger and selfish desire, unified in mind, those who follow the path of yoga and realize the self are established forever in that supreme state. Closing their eyes, steadying their breath, and focusing their attention on the center of spiritual consciousness, the wise master their senses, mind, and intellect through meditation. Self-realization is their only goal, freed from selfish desire, fear, and anger. They live in freedom always, always, always. Knowing me as the friend of all creatures, the Lord of the universe, the end of all offerings and all spiritual disciplines, they attain eternal peace. As of recent, I've been feeling what it would be like to, in a sense, reach a state of self-realization in which I am able to embody peace, a sense of peace 24/7. And I don't know how possible that is, because even someone like the Dalai Lama, does he embody that equanimity 24/7? I don't know. But I've been thinking to myself what that would feel like, what that would look like in me. And it's funny, I feel like that's kind of the progression that my soul is taking. That is that is the direction that I'm moving towards, is this sense of finding this inner wisdom, this place of peace. I'm pretty sure peace is the highest vibration you can attain, even after love. And what if, as human beings, we were all able to attain that sense of peace just 24/7? nothing majorly wrong in the world, there would be no wars and deaths and violence. I don't suppose that can be true for all of humanity. I don't live in a fairy world, unfortunately. However, I do think there is a numerous amount of intelligent light beings, or just human beings on this planet, who I believe have the potential in them to become a living embodiment of peace and love and light. Peace, love, and joy. And I feel as though I have moments of it during meditation, during moments of deep introspection, and I think to myself, oh, if I could just live my life like this every day, how cool would that be? What stops us, however, is the idea that we can't live like that we aren't capable in some way, or second of all, that it would be boring to live that way. How many times I've caught myself choosing a negative thought, or at least back in the day, choosing a negative thought over a positive thought because it seems more enjoyable, it seems more fun, seems more exciting when you, I don't know, choose something that's like when you choose to be angry, or when you choose to be something that's kind of negative. I always found myself choosing it because I thought, well, I'm going to be bored, or it doesn't make sense for me to choose something good because that's just the way I've been brought up in society's parental guidance, within society's parental guidance. Your parents have a big part to play in your life, but society, I think, speaks much louder than that. Anyway, I just think it's fascinating to think about. If you can think about your higher self, if you can see yourself as this natural embodiment of peace every single day, how that would translate for you in your world. It's not easy, what is easy is to revert back to our robotic, everyday, routine selves who don't really think about their emotions and don't really choose the best option when it comes to dealing with others. But I felt the difference in when I shift my being and I just choose. I choose to be kind and thoughtful about my thoughts and like when I choose to observe my thoughts instead of just letting them just run around in my head 24/7. I find that somehow it's easier to attain that peace. Somehow it's easier to understand how you could get to a stage of being a human that does not feel or is not affected by the positive and negative scales of the world. You just simply be, you just simply are. And life is so much easier, so much smoother, so much more fun. So that's why I chose to read the Bhagavad Gita to you tonight, for us all to remember that. I have faith in so many of you out there that whether you're taking your own journey or following mine and participating in within my world, and regardless, I have faith in all of you to become the person you've always wanted to be. I truly do. And I think that I've said this before, I've said it before, that I think 2018 will be a year of us as humans coming together and not seeing one another as being a type of competition. I would love to be able to see other people in this world and not feel jealous of their accomplishments. I would love to be able to lift them up instead of feeling jealous. I wonder if this makes a noise. I would love to be able to it's not sustainable. You know what I think? Quite LSD. Wow, that's fantastic, Zay. Really, I love that. Another thing, another way to get in touch with that meditative state I have found is to get back to doing the things that you loved when you were a kid or a teenager. One of those for me has been art. Art has been a huge catalyst in my world for me finding something that I can express myself in a unique way that no one's ever seen before. And so it gives me great satisfaction to be able to do that. And the other thing is singing. Now, singing is something that I've only just started to do recently. At least, like, actually let myself sing on camera properly. And I loved it as a child, and I think my soul wants me to get back to that, where I would sing every day and sing well. You know, I always did. I was a good singer as a child. I think just over the years I got told certain things and I just was super harsh on myself that I just stopped singing. But the other thing that I noticed, and it's going back to the artwork, when I do artwork, when I sit down and I just have a blank piece of paper in front of me or a canvas, and when I just let my mind flow and just let whatever comes out come out, it feels so personal. It almost feels like one of the last pieces of art that I created. It's like a mandala tapestry thing, and honestly, like, it felt like I was creating my own energy shield because it was so personal to me. Like, I hadn't used any other mediums to draw it, and I think getting in touch with this instinctual creative expression that's unique to myself makes me feel good. It just makes me feel good. And I think we all have a medium of that. Not necessarily through art, it can be through many things. Singing, dancing, playing sports, can be anything. Something that your soul gets to express its true self, and when you do that, it feels like you're back to your real self. You're back to your insecurities and your unsureties seem to just fade away in the background. So there's something I would recommend to you to think about, is to choose a hobby. Choose a hobby that gives you a lot of joy. Maybe something you haven't looked at for a while, and delve right on into that. Create something new, create something beautiful, and don't tell yourself you don't have enough time to do it. You've got all the time in the world to express beauty and joy. Oh, don't ever be fooled by time. Time is one of our biggest enemies for a reason. I know I get caught in or lost in time a lot. So, hello Louise, thank you so much. Hi Ripple, thank you. Which everyday habits do you think are most important to ground, empower yourself, and remain peaceful? Okay, my first one would be to go into nature and put your bare feet on the ground. There is nothing like it in the world that I've felt yet. But it's winter time, and so that's a bit of a difficult one. So, this is something that I've learnt recently, so maybe I'm going to talk on it a little bit more. Symbio taught it to me, is to bring your awareness into your whole body. I tend to keep my awareness just here, and I tend to not really be in my body very often. And I noticed that when I send my awareness in any given moment to my feet, I become a lot stronger in my sense of being. I become my body more. And in terms of grounding yourself to the earth and feeling like you belong, well, that's your root chakra. It's being able to ground and feel like you're in your body, connected to the roots of the earth, and feeling stable in that. Because so often when we're up here in our awareness, we get lost in our thoughts. We almost forget that we have this body, and I think it's a good practice. So I'm kind of new to it too, honestly. Since Kate Bush, that's awesome. I love that 3 of Wands. She's actually one of my favourite singers from back in the day. She's very eclectic. Yeah. Exercise. Yeah, exercise is a big one. Again, wintertime, with me not being able to go out and exercise because it's snowing, it's hard. Wintertime, I will not lie to you, I find it difficult, but not unbearable. Just difficult because I can't do the things I want to do. Nature's more or less hibernating. I love nature. I want to be able to play in nature every day if I could. So so beautiful. You should do more singing ASMR videos. Thank you, Phoebe. Honestly, I'm working on it. I'm gonna practice singing my lungs out, and I'm gonna get another singing video out there. So thank you. I love Enya. I just love her. I feel like if I could embody that type of tone, I would just be the happiest woman in the world. Because I love her. I love the way that she sings. The lyrics and the notes that she chooses are so uplifting, and purposefully so. How many times do you listen to a song that has a catchy beat but the lyrics are just terrible? And it's because the message is terrible. I want to be able to sing, and I want to be able to spread a good message. So, ciao for now, Majora. Felt liberating. It's a pleasure. Thank you for showing up. Thank you. It's more of a human concept. For sure, yeah. What it is, I suppose, is it's our, we look at time to tell us what we should be doing because we aren't able to listen to our inner voice as often. I find the less I look at the time, the better. My days just feel more complete and more full. This is Mossa Jade. It's a beautiful pendant. Positive vibe for myself first thing in the morning. When you start day feeling good, it usually lasts throughout the day. Yeah, that's awesome. I used to do that also. I used to start my day with positive affirmations, just saying them aloud. And I should do that every day because it never fails to make me feel better. So it's a good point how. You're very welcome, Mario. Thank you for saying hello. Hi to you in Australia. Australia? It must be boiling hot there. So, my loves, I hope you enjoyed this little chat, and Bhagavad Gita reading, let me know in the comments if you'd like to see more. I have plenty of books I'd like to discuss with you, Bhagavad Gita being one of the main ones. Tomorrow I'm going to be on Twitch. If you'd like to head over to there and see me live again, you can. If not, it's cool. I'll be doing more YouTube live streams, hopefully in the future. So again, thank you so much for coming and saying hello. I love you guys. You're awesome. So lovely tonight. Anyway, have a good evening, everyone, and just keep smiling, eh? During this winter time, it's the best thing we can do. So